In Ukraine, the fears of a nuclear disaster are growing every day. In focus is the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It's the largest nuclear plant in Europe, and for the last 2 weeks, Zaporizhzhia has been at grave risk. There has been fresh shelling close to the nuclear plant, both Ukraine and Russia blaming each other. And the UN nuclear watchdog is warned of a nuclear disaster. Ukrainian President Zelensky says it will be a catastrophe that will impact the whole of Europe.
Any radiation incident at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant can be a blow to the countries of the European Union, and to Turkey, and to Georgia, and to countries from more distant regions. Everything depends only on the direction and strength of the wind.
Now, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is home to 6 reactors. As of 22nd of July, just 2 of its reactors were operating. Zaporizhzhia provides over a fifth of the total electricity generated in Ukraine. The plant has been on Russia's radar since the beginning of the invasion. In early March, Russian troops seized control of the plant. Special Russian military units guard the facility. However, Ukrainian staff continue to operate it. So clearly, there's a lot of tension. The UN nuclear watchdog says the staff is operating under stressful conditions. So if there is a nuclear accident, no one knows who will deal with it. Will it be the Russian advisors or the Ukrainian staff? There is no clarity. In March, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant was struck, but there was no radiation leak. The reactors, too, were intact. However, both Russia and Ukraine blamed each other for the strike. Since July, however, the plant remains near the front line. It has been hit by shells multiple times in recent weeks. And these repeated strikes have prompted the United Nations to call for a demilitarized zone. Russia says it will facilitate a UN nuclear watchdog visit to the plant, but says it's too dangerous for the IAEA to go through Kiev. On the other hand, the United Nations says it can facilitate the IAEA visit if both Russia and Ukraine agree. NATO, too, has called for an urgent need to inspect Ukraine nuclear plant. Currently, there are 2 major risks. The continuous shelling could damage the plant, but it is unlikely that it will affect the nuclear reactor. The reactor, that's well protected. It has a powerful body with a reinforced concrete shell. But what it could affect here is the reactor's cooling system. This could lead to a severe accident like the world saw in Fukushima. So obviously, Ukraine is concerned. Ukrainian authorities in Zaporizhzhia are holding nuclear disaster response drills.
Of course we are concerned, that's for sure, and that is the situation. We see that the situation from the when they start sharing from the 5th of August, it's changed dramatically. And of course we are concerned. That's why we are here. That's why we created this group. That's why we are involved in everyday communication with this. And we speak to our international partners also. That, of course, we are concerned.
Now, both Russia and Ukraine, they know the danger of militarizing a nuclear plant or compromising the safety of a reactor. In fact, Zaporizhzhia, it's located just 500 kilometers from Chernobyl, the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster. These new strikes, they're raising fears of yet another nuclear catastrophe.
You cannot just close the eyes and say that if you see the military there, if you see the weapon, and of course it's directly influenced the safety of nuclear material at the station. And that's what we want to see. And of course we understand that from the other hand, they need to give some technical estimation on what is happening, because we just have not concrete information what is inside.
Now, Kiev also reported unprecedented cyber attack on its nuclear energy agency's website. The attack was the most powerful cyber attack against the website since the start of the Ukraine war. Says it was conducted from Russian territory. This comes as UN Chief Guterres will meet the leaders of Ukraine and Turkey. And for more on this, we were earlier joined by Mac William Bishop, a freelance reporter near Mykolaiv, Ukraine. Listen into what he had to say.
Well, Eric, it's not entirely clear would be the short answer to that question. Russian military forces are in control of the nuclear power plants. However, the Ukrainian workers that operate the plant, they are still continuing to go to work. They're still continuing to maintain the plant and ensure its safe operation. This is one of the largest power plants in the world. It's the largest in Europe, and it is a key location for the generation of power across Ukraine. The last time that it was taken offline was shortly after the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014. That resulted in rolling blackouts across Ukraine. So it's quite key and central to power generation in this region. It's not that bad now, but when you're talking about a nuclear power plant, of course, the concern is that it could become quite bad quite quickly. As you know, Ukraine was already the scene of one of the worst nuclear accidents in human history. That was in 1986 at Chernobyl. The fallout from that had widespread impact across Europe. Chernobyl is still the scene of an exclusion zone where people can't live and will not be able to live for potentially hundreds of years to come. So there is a major concern, obviously, when you talk about mixing nuclear reactors and high explosives, military-grade weapons. The possibility that there could be a catastrophic failure is real. And I think that is why so many actors in the international community are now concerned about what is happening in this location. So it's also been the strategy of the Ukrainian government to try to get more international actors involved in this conflict. And so, of course, that is also part of the reason why they are reaching out to the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, as well as the United Nations for assistance in dealing with this issue.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.